Hello and welcome to Andertons TV. I'm here with Jean-Michel, right?
Yes.
And Christian.
Christian.
And new product. I saw the release this morning when I was in my hotel bed, but I've deliberately stayed ignorant to it. Christian, do you want to give us the rundown on it, or Jean-Luc, what do you want to do?
We can do every other word, basically. No, we can. I'll start, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
So the analog heat, as you know, was a distortion, analog filtering kind of box of doom. A pretty beefy unit that we had for many years with 8 analog circuits, and we see that people tend to find one setting that they like with the filter and the distortion, and then put it over here, put it on, and never touch it again. And we thought maybe it would be more come closer to the music and closer to the hands if we made it a bit more creative. So we put effects in it, basically, and the effects are digital, all of them.
The new effects are digital, but it still contains all the previous analog part. So we have now chorus, delay, reverb, compressor, warble like tape effect, and bit crusher and sample rate reduction, and another thing that's a bit more difficult to explain, which is the bass focus, which is essentially a crossover filter where you can make only the bass stereo in your signal, for example.
Oh,
that
that's
makes
unique.
it super tight, because if you have a wide sound spectrum of your song or whatever, or if it's going back and forth, the bass, of course, summing it up in mono is super efficient.
Yeah.
So you can just choose where you want to catch the bass and sum it up, get more stable and no phasing issues that you might have. So good tool.
Oh, and perfect at the end of the chain of all these people's effects, to make that really speak through a PA.
Yeah. Or to correct some stuff that you have going on with your signal, so it's more utilitarian in that sense.
Now, what other boxes? Have you been involved in anything else at Elektron?
Yeah, the Syntac before it. Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's great. And what's your favourite effect in there?
That's a difficult one. I think between the bit and sample rate reduction and warble, like the tape effect.
The warble turns me on, yeah.
Yeah, me too, I guess.
Now, you said I was ignorant to this before. Is there 8 channels?
No, it's 8 analog circuits.
Okay, how many channels? So again, you're talking to an absolute layman, sorry here. How
many channels?
Yeah.
It's a stereo unit.
Stereo unit. Yeah. And is it working with your magic overbridge stuff?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Cool, amazing.
One thing that's really worth mentioning when we talk about the effects is that you can move them around as you want in the chain. So if you want to have the analog distortion before the delay or after the delay, everything is super modular. So you can move all effects around.
And they're all active. They can all be active. Yeah, right. That's super
They can all be active at the same time, and you can choose where to put them. So if you look at the flow page here, where you can see the signal flow, now we have chorus, then analog distortion part, bits, compressor, delay, and so on. We can just move the heat part, which is the analog part. We can move it.
Love it.
There. And if we want to have a reverb before, for some reason, we can do that.
Yeah, shoegaze.
Yeah, or the reverb at the end, and we just move the delay second last in line. So now we have heat, delay, and reverb, classic sort of signal flow.
Yeah.
And you can just choose where to put the stuff. Very, very modular in that sense.
Fantastic. Should we have a little bit of a blast on it? Should we get some headphones on and a blast?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
So let's just start with a pretty simple beat here. Now, no effect is on at all. If we turn on the heat block, you can hear that it's distorting. You can filter it a bit. Without the heat, we take a look at the bits, for example. Now we can hear that you get less of the sample rate and more, like that. Now you can choose, while you're playing, to move the bits around, actually putting it after the heat in this case. Let's put on the heat and get total annihilation. Remove the bits, remove the heat, and delay. If we want to access the delay page, just press yes, and now there's no delay. If we put on the delay, we put on the heat, only bass drum, heat, delay. We have this really nice mix part where you can hold in the flow and you can decide to mix how much of the heat you want in this case. So now you get a really nice overview of all the effects. More of the heat. If you want to have more of the delay. So this is a quick way of accessing those. If we move to a bit more melodic and controlled sound, we can do a piano. Let's see where I put it. Probably there. And just take a listen to the Warble. Here's the piano clean. Now we added his noise and a very unstable tape. Slow it down. Slow it down like that. Make it deeper. If we go to the next page, we can decide to have more of the noise, totally clean, and the stereo width, which is very good for just like in this case a mono piano, making it really wide and nice. Let's put on some delay. And now we have the envelope follower set on delay time. So every time the piano goes over that threshold, the delay time is adjusted, which of course makes the pitch go up and down.